Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our honorable speakers, Madam Maisarah Abdul, mathematics teacher at Tunku Kurshiah College, Dr. Roselah Osman, senior lecturer at the School of Mathematical Sciences, College of Computing Informatics and Media, UiTM, Mr. Nurul Akmal Muhammad Nasir, senior lecturer at the Department of Mathematics Education, Faculty of Education, UiTM, representative from the Agency for Presidential Education Institutions, Uzbekistan, Mr. Abdul, professors, lecturers, beloved students, and all participants. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good evening to all. For your information, due to some unforeseen circumstances, our first original speaker, Dr. Roselah Mustafa, could not attend this session and is replaced by Madam Maisarah Abdul. Before we begin, let's start with the recital of Kitab Al-Fatiha. Amin, amin, ya Rabbal Alameen. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome everyone to the 5th session of the STEM webinar series organized by the School of Mathematical Sciences, College of Computing Informatics and Media, UiTM Malaysia, co-organized by the Agency for Presidential Education Institutions, Uzbekistan, and Malaysian Mathematical Sciences Society, well known as Bersama. I am Sharifah Noha Zahira binti Said Nasir from UiTM, and I'll be responsible for hosting today's webinar session. Ladies and gentlemen, for your information, this webinar is broadcast live through WebEx and our official YouTube channel, School of Mathematical Sciences, College of Computing Informatics and Media, UiTM Malaysia. All participants are very much welcome to ask any questions to the speaker through the WebEx chat panel and also in the YouTube comment section. You may send in your questions at any time during the presentation. I will collect and address them during the Q&A session at the end of the talk. A gentle reminder to all participants, please make sure that your microphone is turned off during the webinar to ensure there are no audio interruptions and that the event runs smoothly. However, you may turn on the microphone if you want to address questions to the speaker. Your kind cooperation is highly appreciated. We will have a group photo session after the first talk, so please be prepared for the session. Ladies and gentlemen, the title for our talk today is Unleashing the Power of Mathematics in STEM Education. And we are very lucky as we have 3 guest speakers with us today who will share their knowledge and experience in teaching mathematics. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our first honorable speaker, Madam Maisarah Abdul. Madam Maisarah Abdul is currently a mathematics teacher at Tunku Kurshiah College, Negeri Sembilan, which is one of the best all-girls boarding school in Malaysia. She has created some modules, including the Integrated STEM module, Inquiry-Based Mathematics Learning module, and Duta Guru Yayasan Petronas module. For this session, Madam Maisarah will be sharing about the integration of mathematics in schools. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Madam Maisarah Abdul. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much, Sharifah Noha. Please bear for a while, I'll share my slide. So is my slide there?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Okay. So very good evening. I bid to Mr. Abdul from Agency of Presidential Education Institution, Uzbekistan, other panelists, lecturers, teachers, and students from Kazakhstan and also from Malaysia, especially from UiTM. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So my name is Maisarah, teacher Maisarah. I'm a maths teacher from College Tunku Kurshiah. Thank you for having me today. Actually, it's quite an ad hoc for me because I'm representing someone else, but I hope I can try my best. So today, I will share with all of you a little bit how do we implement mathematics in STEM education in Malaysia, and I will also share some of the material that I got as one of the module developer and a trainer also for a few programs initiated by Ministry of Education, such as Integrated STEM, Inquiry-Based Mathematics Education, and also Mathematics in Context. Okay. So everyone know that STEM is the acronym for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. Okay, so what is STEM education? Okay, STEM education is actually, STEM is a curriculum based on the idea of educating students in four specific disciplines, which are science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It is an interdisciplinary and applied approach rather than teach the four disciplines as separate and discrete subjects. So STEM integrates them into cohesive learning paradigm based on a real-world application. So in Malaysia, we do not have STEM subject as itself. Okay, so we still have subject, we still teach science, mathematics as a silo subject, but we do integrate these subjects into our PDP or our teaching and learning session based on the relevant topics. All right. And some other time we also do it outside the classroom. For example, during clubs and societies, during relief times, and also maybe during a carnival, STEM carnival or STEM weeks like that. Okay. So, hold on. Okay, so usually when we talk about STEM project, okay, people will always think about science and technology. Okay, why? And usually most of the time, mathematics will just be the supporter subject. Okay, for me, it is because students do not really understand the subject, the fundamental of the subject really well. That's why they cannot relate with the real life application, and they do not know how to integrate mathematics in the STEM itself. Okay, there's a lot of research about this. Okay, one of it by English and King 2019, Madani 2020, and also Pimtong and Williams 2020. They said that students are unable to connect the problem they have studied with problems in everyday life because mathematics learning is still taught in silo and is not integrated with other disciplines. So before I go into the detail about mathematics, let us focus on how actually do we integrate mathematics in STEM education. Okay, so actually this is the material that I got when I become one of the module developer. So all of other groups present the science project, you know, and mathematics just be as a supporter. Maybe they say that, oh, mathematics involved when we do the calculation, when students need to measure the box and all. But my objective, I want the students to make mathematics as one of the main subject. I want mathematics to be the main role of the their STEM project. Okay, so this is one of the example of the task which teacher can do during any time. Okay, so the task is to build a heat-resistant container with the feature below. Okay, first one, the container must be able to maintain a hot temperature longer. Okay, it has a capacity of 12,000 milliliter and has the smallest surface area to save the cost of the material. So this activity is also suitable for many levels. It can be for primary school, it can be for secondary school, and it also suitable for high education, high level. Okay, so I think maybe some of you seen this, but usually people more focus on the science, the heat. Okay, so let's see. So where is the STEM? Okay, so the first one, S, is determine the type of good thermal insulation. S is the science. Okay, T, technology. Students need to be able to draw and sketch a heat-resistant container. Okay, so E is engineering. Student able to build the prototype using appropriate materials. And so this is mathematics. Okay, first student need to be able to draw a solid geometry net. So depends on the what types of solid geometry they want to choose. Okay, so for primary, maybe, so since this is for I create this for primary school, so maybe they can just start using the cuboid because cuboid is easy and they have the prior knowledge about the cuboid. Okay, so in mathematics, okay, they also be able to determine how changes in dimension of an object affect the area and the volume of a material. Okay, as I said just previously, okay, this one. Okay, this container must have the smaller surface area, but we fix the volume. Okay, people might think, can we can we get this different surface area if we fix the volume? Okay, not many people know that. All right, so we ask our student to think. Okay, they need to think mathematically how they are going to create this container which can minimize the cost, which is the surface area is minimized, and at the same time they fix the volume. So as you can see, I want to highlight mathematics here. So if for primary students, maybe they just do the easy one. They just calculate cuboid, the surface area, easy one. For high level, maybe they can use calculus, okay, differentiation, optimization, and all. Okay, so this is the objective which they can achieve during this activity. The first one, identify good and bad materials as a heat conductors. So this is in science, okay. They'll be able to list the ways in which heat is transferred and identify where heat conduction and rejection occur in heat insulating container. Okay, they build and sketch the prototype and determine how change in dimension of the objects. And also my focus in they be able to recognize that the same volume that actually can produce different surface area. If they do not have the good fundamental or strong conceptual in mathematics, they not be able to think about this. Okay. Next. Okay, so I'll show you the answer. Actually, I should give you all 5 minutes times to think. So this is an exploration. This is for primary students. Okay, they tell us if 12,000 cubic centimeter or 12,000 milliliter, what is the size they can choose? So one of it is 120 times 10 times 10. 60 times 20 times 10, 40 times 60 times 10, and 30 times 20 times 20. So it still produces the same volume. But remember, each of these dimensions will produce a different surface area. Okay, so we will not tell the students about this. We hope that they will come up with this. So they need to have mathematical thinking in order to produce this such answer. So this is for primary students, so will be fixed like this. If it is for secondary student, maybe they can come up with the cylinder and also a cone, and they come up with the formula using the formula and all. All right, using the algebra. So as we can see here, the model 4 gives the least surface area. Okay. Oops. Okay, so I drew this one, so we can see the model 1, model 2, model 3, and model 4. So it gives a different shape, different height and all, but actually they can carry the same volume. Okay, they can fix the same volume, but actually the surface area is minimized. So what is the objective? Why do we want to minimize the surface area? Because we want to save the material and all. So here is where the STEM, people will need to think more about the environment, about science, technology, and other things. Okay, but still they need to think about the heat and insulation and all in science and technology. But I will not focus on that since I will focus more on mathematics today. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So the goal of STEM education is, the hope is that the student acquire the ability to take an integrative, interdisciplinary approach to problem solving, as well as acquire competencies and character qualities for a workforce of the future, such as critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaboration. So as a teacher, we need to provide them with the platform so that they can think. But as for students, you need to push yourself to think mathematically. Okay, do not just memorize things, do not just learn mathematics by procedural, you memorize the steps. No, you should learn by conceptual. because with that, you have a strong fundamental in mathematics and you will produce more and more good STEM projects and all. Okay, and then you'll be able to integrate mathematics really well in other science subjects, such as science, technology, and also engineering. Okay, so, but bear in mind, when we want to design a STEM project, make sure it is a meaningful and authentic STEM project. Okay, make sure the STEM project that tackle the real world problems. Okay, so there are 4 ways in order how to add the authenticity. First, we focus on a problem or issue or topic that is relevant to the students or adults. So when we want to create a task, try to think what is their problem. What is the problem they're having? For example, just now, just now we were talking about make a container, right? So the issue is the environment or the heat insulated container. Maybe it's related to the like a Grab, a Food Panda. They bring the food. They want to sustain the heat of the food. So it is still relevant to the issue and problem now. Okay, second, meet a real need or create a product that will be used by a real people. Of course, we need to find a problem which is will be used by people. Follow a realistic scenario or simulation. And the last one, include tools or tasks performed by adults in real setting or workplace. It doesn't necessarily to be something as a student, but it can also be the future problem. Okay, but try to think of the student's problem. For example, year 1 student, standard 1 student, they cannot reach the whiteboard. Okay, because when they want to wrap the whiteboard, so it's too high. So ask them, how are you going to solve this problem? So the problem is related to them, so they can think, oh, how do I integrate STEM in this? And how do I solve this problem using STEM? Okay, maybe they can create a hole or something, I don't know. So try to ask them to solve the problem which are related to them. Okay, next. Okay, so I think that's all about STEM. So now come back to mathematics. So mathematics, the most important thing is about concept, as I said just now. How do we make sure students grab the concept? We must train our students to be able to think, okay, mathematically. They must have the mathematical thinking skill. Okay, what do we mean by mathematical thinking? Okay, student must be able to looking for pattern in order to discern structure. Okay, looking for relationship, connecting ideas, reasoning logically, explaining, conjecturing, and proving. Okay, mathematical thinking is central to deep and sustainable learning mathematics. So concept needs to be thought about, reasoned with, and discussed in order to become secure. So as a student, when we learn mathematics, we try to find what is the pattern, what is the relationship. Always ask yourself, why? Ask the reason, okay? Explain, why is this, that, why is that? For example, why the area of circle is pi r square? Okay, ask yourself, do not just memorize and use the formula. So we want students to be able to reason, okay, reason why in mathematics. Then only they can understand the concept very well. Okay, so how do you learn mathematics in classroom? Of course, there are many ways to learn mathematics in classroom. One of it is traditional method, by chalk and talk, okay, by memorizing. But now there are many methods. One of it is inquiry-based learning, problem-based learning, and also project-based learning. I will not touch all. I will touch one of it, only inquiry-based learning. So usually in inquiry-based learning, we begin with an essential questions. We start the lesson with the question. We offer students interesting problem to consider, and we focus is on the process of discovery. Okay, so emphasize the process, not just the knowledge, and we encourage active learning and critical thinking, and also it's a student center, of course. Okay, so actually this slide tell us what have been done by Registry of Education. One of it is Inquiry-Based Mathematics Education, or PMSI, Pendidikan Matematik Secara Inquiry. So I've been involved with this since day one. So I'm the module developer since 2019. So 2019 we built the module which involved lecturers, teachers from different levels, and then we train the trainer And then the trainer trained the state trainer, and then we spread it to the each state, and now we already have 40 master trainer and also 585 trainer for the state. Okay, hopefully by years we can increase more, and more and more teachers is competent in implement IBME, inquiry-based mathematics education, in the classroom. Okay, next. So what is mathematics education? As I explained just now, usually we begin with the question or the problem. We call it a prompt. Okay, so student got the answer by observation or exploration, or by experiments, mental, material, or visual, or make connection and all. Okay, so this inquiry process allows students to construct knowledge and understand the concept. So we do not just straightly tell student, what is this, what is that? Okay, we want them to observe and explore. This is what we do. But this is what we train the teachers, and teachers already implement in the classroom. Okay, so, oops. Okay, so I think, okay, so the student must build their own concept based on the activity that we provide them, and also a teacher must know their prerequisite of that knowledge. That is very important. So we must know their prior knowledge in order for them to get something, okay, through investigation and exploration. So this is, for example, this is a very simple example. So multiplication is actually a repeated, okay. So, sorry, hold on. Okay, so 2 plus 2 plus 2 is equal to 3 times 2, right? So this is the concept. See, we do not just want students to just memorize 3 times 2 is equal to 6. We want them to understand 3 times 2 is actually 2 plus 2 and plus 2. This is a very basic, but some of us already fail in teaching this. Okay, next. So as I told you just now, so we start with the inquiry prompt. What is inquiry prompt? Inquiry prompt are mathematical statements or equation or diagrams. So at the beginning of the class, just to attract the student, and then to get the student to think about the topic. Okay, for example, okay, let's say I put this. Can any of you ask something about it? Okay, so we put this as a prompt, and we want students to try to say something about it. There's no wrong or right answer. Maybe you can just ask anything. Anybody would like to try? No? Okay, maybe a student can ask, can we put number in the box? Teacher, can we put letter in the box? Okay, can we move the box to the left or to the right? Or can we replace the X with something else? Something like that. So we expect students to ask this at the beginning of the class. So this is inquiry prompt. We do not tell straight away, okay, 2x plus 3 equal to da, you do this, you do that. Okay. So this is the example that the student can ask during the inquiry prompt sessions. Okay. Is it right that you put letter and number in the blank box and all? Okay. So this is the example of lesson plan that we do. One of it, okay, for measurement and geometry topics. So Form 2 students, 14 years old. So I bet many Form 2 students here, right? From Kazakhstan. Okay, so have you learned this topic? Okay, circumference and area of circle. So the objective is to determine the relationship between circumference and diameter of a circle, and hence define pi and derive circumference formula. How do you learn this topic at your school? Okay, how does your teacher tell you what pi is, or you do the activity to discover what is actually pi? Okay, so this is the example. I just take one of the topic and share with you all. Okay, so what is actually pi? Let me just share a little bit. I'm not sure how many minutes I have more. Okay, what is pi? Can you tell what is pi? Because pi is very important in mathematics. You use pi forever. Okay, it's a very important symbol. So can you tell what is actually pi? Do you really remember? Do you really understand what actually pi is. So can I share the video for a while? Just straight away share, right? Okay. Okay, students, can you take 10 seconds to think, is there any relationship between the circumference and the length of the string or the pole? Just think for a while. All right, okay, so usually I will post, sorry, is there anybody?
There's a question,
Okay,
yeah, in the chat box from Rajishar Rose with 3. Is that GPR?
I'm not sure what was he talking about. Which GPR? Okay,
Maybe
so,
Sharon can type in the chat box.
okay, so can I continue for a while? Okay, so
Yes.
all right. So we've tied the string on the pole. Okay. Okay. So the lawnmower will run by itself. So it will produce a circumference. So I will ask the student, can you see any relationship between the length of the string and also the circumference performed after the lawnmower move itself lah? Okay. So students have their own answer. So I think I just move on. If not, I will not have enough time. Hold on. Okay, so this is how we do it. Okay, teacher divide into groups. So each group is given a worksheet, and okay, each group needs to draw at least 5 circles, okay, of different sizes on a A4 colored paper using circular objects. So they need to draw a circle, 5 different size on a paper, and they need to measure the diameter and also the circumference of each circle using the equipment they have chose. Okay, so this is the activity lah. So this is the example that I've done in the school. Okay, so student draw 5 different circles. So they use the bottle or anything they have around their class. Okay, so they measure using the string or the thread that I provide them, and then they need to calculate and measure the diameter and also the circumference. After that, okay, they will, sorry. So this is the activity that I did with the teachers, okay, during the workshops. A teacher also did the same activity so that when they go to school, they know how to train other teachers and also they know how to implement it in the school. So by this activity, so they will fill in this form. Okay, sorry, this is in Malay. So diameter and circumference. So they fill in the table, okay, and then they can see the relationship between diameter and circumference. So they try and error lah. Maybe they try to divide at the times and all. So I will guide them. So they find that there's a relationship. They get the 3.18, 3, and 3.13 and 3.39. From there, they can see, oh, there's a pattern over there. There's a relationship. That is mathematics. That is what we want them to explore. Okay, so there's a question. So student answer. So what can you see from the table? The value is constant, almost same. The average value is 3.14. Then after that, then only I introduce to them. This value is actually, we call this pi. The 3 point something is actually pi. And then we can tell them about the history of pi and all. And we'll also include the error, the ralat, the error. When they measure, there may be some error. Why they do not have the accurate answer? Maybe there's an error. So that will involve science, okay? The parallax error, and also that's how we integrate mathematics in STEM. So we do the activity and we also touch a little bit on science and mathematics, and we integrate in the topic. So as you can see, the lower use a standard measuring instruments such as vernier, caliper. So they integrate science in this topic. Okay. So this is the answer. If you divide the circumference of the circle by the diameter, you will get approximately 3.14 no matter what size of the circle you drew. So this is a pattern. So it's okay, I don't have to share the YouTube. So maybe you can try to search more on YouTube on this activity. Okay, so we can also use technology in this activity. How? We tell the student, you can use the GeoGebra and some other apps, and you will get the accurate answer. No matter what size of the circle is, you will still get 3.1 for the. So that's how we integrate mathematics in STEM education. It is not a silo subject, it's an integration. It is an interdisciplinary subject. Okay. So as I said just now, the most important in mathematics is learning through conceptual. So similar to pi topic just now, so we don't want students to memorize. Pi is just 3.14 to . We want them to experience it. We want them to know. So the process, and then finally they conclude what pi is. Okay, so another example I got here is division of fraction. Okay, take about 10 seconds. How are you going to answer this? 1/2 divided by 1/4? I have only a few minutes left. Okay, so usually by procedural methods, okay, you will do like this, right? I'm not sure in Kazakhstan. What, Uzbekistan, is it? Uzbekistan, sorry. So how did you do? I'm not sure. So this is what usually, traditionally we do in Malaysia, okay? We cross, we do like this, and 1/2, okay, we put upside down, 4/1, we get 4/2, and then we got 2. Okay, but actually, there's a conceptual understanding behind this topic. So 1/2 divided by 1/4 is actually how many 1/4 in 1/2. I repeat, how many 1/4 in 1/2. So student must really understand the concept of whole. So this is one whole. So they need to identify what is one whole, which part. So this is one whole. Okay, so this is half. This is 1/4, and this is 1/8. So they need to identify this first in fraction, whole. Whole is the main concept. So how many 1/4 in 1/2? So you see here, how many of 1/4 in 1/2? So 1, 2. So there are 2 1/4 in 1/2. So you get it? Okay, let us see another example. Okay, 1/2 divided by 1/6. So how many 1/6 in 1/2? So guess, how many 1/6 in 1/2? Actually, I cannot see the chat, so I don't know. So I assume many can answer already. So it's actually 3. So 1, 2, 3. There are 3 1/6 in 1/2. Okay, good. So this is how we want students to be able to understand the concept of mathematics. They do not just do the procedural. Okay. I think, hold on, is this the last slide? I think this is the last slide. Okay, so basically as a conclusion, as a summary, what I want to say here, do not put mathematics as just supporting subjects in STEM education. Okay, try to make mathematics as one of the main subject in STEM also. Okay, usually people will always say about science, right? Why? Because they can see science in real life. They cannot see science, they cannot see mathematics in real life. So our focus is we talk about mathematics today. So why this happened? Because they are lacking of conceptual understanding. So we need to focus on conceptual understanding as well in order for them to be able to relate to the real world. Then they will integrate mathematics in STEM very well, inshallah. Okay, so I think that's all from me. You can ask any question.
Thank you, Madam Maisarah, for an interesting talk and your valuable insights. Due to time constraint, we will keep the questions at the end of the webinar. However, if time does not allow, participants can contact the speakers directly for answers. Before we proceed to our next speaker, let us take a short break and have a quick photo session. All participants, please turn on your camera and get ready for the session.
Maybe Teacher Mysara can stop sharing.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll wait for a few more seconds for the participants to turn on their camera. Okay, seems like most of us have already turned on their camera. All right, thank you everyone for your cooperation.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our next speaker, Mr. Nurul Akmal Muhammad Nasir. Mr. Akmal is a senior lecturer with 10 years teaching experience in mathematics. His research interest is in mathematical thinking, mathematics teaching and learning, as well as the STEM education. Mr. Akmal will be sharing the initiatives that have been done by the Faculty of Education to integrate mathematics in everyday life for secondary school level. Without further delay, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Akmal.
Do you see my slide?
Yes, we can.
Right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good evening to all the participants from Uzbekistan, audience from Malaysia, and all panels and the others. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All right, let me introduce myself. My name is Nurul Akmal bin Nasir. I'm senior lecturer at Mathematics Department, Faculty of Education, UiTM, Puncak Alam, Selangor, Malaysia. So today I will introduce or share with all of you what is the initiative have been done by the Departments of Science and Mathematics, Faculty of in my faculty, in to empowering and to show the student about the integrated STEM education. Now, before I start with my sharing, let's take a look first what is from the scholars regarding the integrated STEM education. So from Brenner et al. 2012, the integrated STEM can be referred to improving science and mathematics as isolated discipline. And for the second point, we can see that the sender has mentioned that approaches, integrated STEM can be related with approaches that explore teaching and learning between or among any of two more of the STEM subjects areas, or between STEM subjects and one or more other school subjects. And from more 2014, an effort to combine all of the four disciplines, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, into one class, unit or lesson that is based on the connection between the subjects and real world problems. So what we can conclude from all this idea, integrated STEM is an educational approach that seeks to be connect and combine the discipline of science, which is STEM, in order to provide a more comprehensive understanding of real world problems, meaning that we can connect all the discipline with the real life application. And this approach is designed to encourage students to think critically, solve problems, and apply knowledge from the multiple discipline to develop innovative solution. like the first point here, improving science and mathematics, it suggests that the integrated STEM can help improve science and mathematics education by providing a more comprehensive and connected understanding of this discipline. And if you look at the second point here, what I can interpret is integrated STEM can involve teaching and learning that span multiple STEM subjects and connect STEM subjects with other school subjects. And at the last final part points, so what we can interpret that STEM involve combining all four STEM elements, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, into a single cohesive discipline or unit, or help students understand how different disciplines work together to solve complex problems and prepare them for future careers that require interdisciplinary knowledge and skill. So what we can conclude here, integrated STEM actually represent an innovative and interdisciplinary approach to education that encourage collaboration and creativity and plus critical thinking. And it also prepare the student for challenge and opportunity for the 21st century skill. So based on all this idea, my department has come out several initiatives and programs and activity related with the STEM education. So before that, let's take a look what is the Ministry of Education has habilitated or conceptual framework regarding the STEM education. So based on the Ministry of Education of Malaysia, the implementation of STEM education in Malaysia, like the the teacher has been shared with us just now. Yes, the MT doesn't have any STEM education. However, we just integrating the STEM education in our teaching and learning, and plus we also conducted the STEM education as extra activities outside of the classroom. So if we look at this framework, we can see that the aim, the first part is the early education, primary, secondary, lower, secondary upper, tertiary, and industry and community. So if we look at the first part, it start from nurturing the interest of the student from the early level, which is starting from the early childhood, continue to build up the foundation and construct the STEM skill until empowering the STEM skill, which is a STEM skill basically most focused on the critical thinking and also problem solving. So let's focus one by one. The focus of the STEM education at the early education level is to spark and nurture, to inspire the interest. So to focus STEM education is to spark and nurture student interest through activities that can stimulate curiosity, and is going up to the primary level. So therefore, our aim here is construct the foundation. So means that expose the basic of the STEM knowledge and relate their knowledge to situation in daily life through investigative and exploratory activities. And it moved to the secondary level, which is a lower level. At the lower secondary education, student potential is enhanced by construction and development of STEM skill through analysis of local and global issues and problem solving activities. So because we want to construct their STEM skills here. And it moved to upper secondary. At the upper secondary level, STEM education focus on the strengthening and enriching STEM skill through activities that can be showcase STEM concept as a high level. Okay, and for the level is more challenging and prepared for the STEM area. So that is the aim of our Ministry of Education, starting from the early childhood until the up one, which is the tertiary level. So from that mission of the Ministry of Education and all the point of the integrated STEMs, so we as a Department of Science and Mathematics, like mine is from Faculty of Education and Mathematics Department, our focus mission is to nurturing and empowering the STEM education in Malaysia. So we provide students and teachers deeper knowledge related to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in more practical, fun, and beneficial way. And based on this mission, we have prepared the initiative STEM activities and several programs that focus on STEM, which is encouraged with the interactive and for the teaching and learning. And we aim to empowering student mathematical skills and knowledge through experience, the interactive and fun activities. For mathematics educators, like we are also preparing for the pre-service teacher for mathematics. We aim to enhance their teacher skill in delivering the mathematics content and able to relate the usage of mathematics in real life situation. So let me share, okay, all the initiative here. So we have a 3 level. So the first level is actually for the primary school students, and our aim is to enhancing their student interest towards STEM areas, like have been aimed by our government to tackle their interest towards STEM. And when we go to our target for the secondary school student, the activities and the program is more to empowering student knowledge regarding the STEM area. And for the instructor, we also are trained the pre-service teacher and also some of the in-service teacher. So we increase the instructor skill and knowledge in delivering STEM subjects. And like mine, focus on mathematics. So let's focus for the first part, which is school program. So basically, so far we have got 3 major programs, which is STEM Attack, Fun with Math, and also Intellectual Science and Mathematics programs. So this is been developed by Science and Department program, and I one of the developer for the mathematics activities and program. So let's take a look for the STEM Attack, and we have 2 level, which is for primary and secondary. And basically for the STEM Attack, the activity and program are constructed by the expert and lecturers from science and mathematics departments, and somehow we are also referred to some of the expert outsiders, include teachers and so on. And during the implementation, we also conducted a study to enhance the practicability and the effectiveness of the program in the future. So rather than we conduct the activities, and basically all the activities are integrated STEM, which is we ensure that each of the activities are relate with the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And basically, let's say here, how the balloon has been grow up. So we have explained into our sciences and also how the mathematical concept here and so on. So after that, I will show some of the video of the sample of the activity. And we move to the STEM Attack for the second level. What is the difference between the primary level is actually the level of the difficulties of the task. And basically, both I mentioned just now, STEM Attack is actually to expose to the student with how the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics is interconnected, and we explain how the mathematics is used for other areas such as science, technology, engineering, and that's why like this time skill are focusing on critical thinking and problem solving, and of course we are emphasize the student to use the POLIA stages, 4 stages starting from the understanding the problem, devising, applying, implementing the plan, and also look back or do the evaluation of their actions. And from that, we do the reflection and also we emphasize the meta-cognitive behavior during the activity. And the STEM Attack is actually objective to increase student motivation to learn STEM with a more practical and fun methods, and the understanding of the concept of the STEM field among school students, interest in STEM-based subject and doing hands-on activity, provide comprehensive exposure to STEM application in daily life. So basically, all the activities that have been prepared are problem-based. Okay. So let me show some activity that is being integrated between the science and mathematics. Let's see the first activity. So the first activity is actually the student need to come up with one rockets, and basically how this connect with the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Before the student construct the rocket, they've been do the experiment here. They will fly the rocket through the dry ice, and before we asking them to conduct this demonstration, and we have tested their prototype of the rocket, they need to first to think and plan how the rocket then be construct. And therefore, here is the integrated between the science concept, technology, engineering, and mathematics concept happen. And they need to engage and use their prior knowledge regarding all these areas to construct the prototype. Such as for the rocket, they need to use the concept of the symmetry, and they also need to consider how the velocity of the rocket can be moved based on the problems that have been given by them, and so on and etc. And they also need to consider from the science part, technology, and the part. And basically, we are emphasize of the student to use their critical thinking and problem-solving skill, and plus to solve the problem and the task given. So let's take a look for the second activity.
Satu, dua, tiga.
Before the competition, we are given a compartment of the cars, and there are no manual for them, and therefore they need to think and use their thinking how they can assemble all the compartment to become one car that can be moved from initial point to this terminal point that have been stated by our secretariat. And therefore, during the compartment, we also give them the ensure that the movement of the car will become on the tracks and not move outside from the track have been stated. And therefore, we also giving some other material to ensure that they can achieve their aims, to ensure that the car move in very smooth and go straight, like we have emphasized to all the students. That's the reason. And after each of the activities have been conducted with the student, we will do the conclusion and also reflection with the student, how their experience conduct their problems, what is their problems, and how their feelings, and how they can connect all from this activity with the STEM areas such as science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Okay. All right. So now, the second initiative have been developed by our department is Fun with Math, and basically these activities are focused. This activity is focusing on the primary level. Like I mentioned just now, our aim for the primary level is to tackle to them to learn STEM subject, and for me specifically for the mathematics subject. So as our initiative in our department, we have come up with the program which called as a Fun with Math, and we have produced two type of games. The first game have been innovated by our professor, Prof. Amjit Singh, called as a Maisarah game. And the second product is actually a Maisarah, and both products have been commercialized, and for Malaysia, you can get this product from the Shopee, and for the outsiders, they can get from Kurshiah. Okay, and basically what we do for Fun with Math, we bring this two type of product to the school and engage with the students playing the game, both game, and to enhance their critical thinkings and mathematical thinkings to solve the problem. So let me show video how the Maisarah is look about. Okay.
Mathsville, where math meets fun. In Mathsville, players earn points by forming complete number sentences or equations with tiles and placing them on a grid. Step 1. Players randomly pick tiles from the 3 compartments, choosing 5 whole numbers, 2 operators, and 1 equal sign for a total of 8 tiles. Step 2. The first player begins the game by placing an equation across the M square at the center of the board, either horizontally or vertically. The M acts as a double equation score. The direction of the equation can either be across or down. Reverse directions are not allowed. Step 3. Tally each turn by adding point values for each square in the equation. Landing on colored squares allow you to multiply the tile or the entire number sentence value by 2 or 3. Any digit that is placed on the double number sentence square will get double the total score for an equation. This score is tripled when one digit of its equation is placed on the triple number sentence square. If an equation is formed that covers two colored digit squares, the score is doubled and redoubled, or tripled and then re-tripled. Step 4. When placing equations on the board, all tiles must touch at least one other tile already on the board to form at least one complete number sentence. During each turn, a player can decide to place an equation on the board, exchange tiles, or pass. If a player decides to exchange tiles, they cannot do anything else on that turn. Step 5. After placing an equation on the board, draw new tiles so that each player always has 8 tiles. Step 6. If a player plays all 8 tiles on a turn, it's a jackpot. The player adds a 40-point bonus to their equation for that turn. Step 7. When one player has used all of their tiles or no one can make any more equations, the game ends. Step 8. Calculate each player's final score by adding up the points earned during play. Then subtract the sum of the unplayed tiles. The player with the highest score wins. MATHSL, where math meets fun.
Okay, so this is the first invented by our professor, which is MATHSL. So this is the new one been produced from our department, and I'm also one of the members for produce this game, which is a MATHSL.
Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today, I'm going to show you the latest card game brought to you by MATHSL called MATHZAP. Maths doesn't have to be boring. It can actually be really fun, and I'm going to show you how. Each MATHZAP pack has 77 cards that contain whole numbers, numbers spelled out in words, Roman numerals, visual representations, and addition and subtraction operations. The aim of the game is to zap the cards with the same numerical value. The player who wins all the cards wins the game, and the player who loses all their cards is eliminated from the game. Start by shuffling the deck. Do it well. Then, distribute the cards evenly between players. Remember, you're not allowed to look at your cards. No cheating. To begin playing, each player must place a card in the middle facing upwards, and this goes on and on and on until the same numerical value shows up. The first player to zap in time takes all the cards, and the first player to finish their cards is eliminated. The game goes on until someone gets all the cards, and that is how you win MATHZAP. So, what are you waiting for? Get your pack and get playing now. Click on the link in the description below to purchase. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Bye!
So basically, both games are being commissioned, like I mentioned just now. And for the MATHZAP, it's actually the adaptation from the Scrabbles, or in Malay, we call it Sahiba. And basically, this is a board games and encourage the students about the numeracy skills and also the calculations. And based from, and for your information, this MATHSL game have been got the gold medals in the Brussels in 2010, I'm not mistaken. And for the MATHZAP, okay, for the MATHZAP is also the same aims to enhance student numeracy skill, and this actually quite similar like a snap card. And but however, our focus in actually is for the mathematics, to learn mathematics. And we are, while we are producing with the traditional, which is a card, and not move to the technology, because we are also, through playing the game card, we encourage the student to have the social skill, which is after during playing the game card, they also need to communicate with other members to verify their value. And we can see here, okay, I got
MATHSL.
Okay, this is the sample students play the MATHZAP card. So we can see that how the students are very enjoy playing the game card. And for your information, also both products, before we are commercialize the product, both products are based on the study base, meaning that before we are start commercialize the products, we do the some study, we pilot it, and also got a journal and have been published to show that both products are effectively enhanced to the numeracy in mathematics. So for the third program is actually intellectual science and mathematics programs. And basically this program also for the primary, so far we have this program for the primary level. Okay. And basically this program is actually focusing on science and mathematics. And we don't integrate the student between science and maths. Therefore, we just are focusing the student how the applications of the science and mathematics to the daily life, such as you can see the first picture is we call as a giant clock. Okay, so we ask the student to make it a one large very large circle, and we give a number from 1 to 12 to the students, and give one two arrow. It shows that like a very big or huge clock. And then after that, we will give some condition and also situation, and the student need to move the arrow regarding the problem given by them, because we are focusing on the time problems. And if you look at the third, and also it's actually related with the geometry activities. How from the compartment of the we emphasize the student how from the 2D, and it can build up. We combine some of the 2D shape, they become a 3D shape and so on. So they can see the connection between all the geometry parts. And basically the fourth one is actually we call activity shopping with moms. And this one we are exposed to the students how they can use the application of the money to buy the grocery in the shop. So we make it a simulation of the shop, and they need to use their thinkings how they can manage the job and how to buy the grocery that been prototyped by our facilitator. And basically all the programs have been facilitated by our students, which is undergraduate students, help us so much in these programs, and it's good for them also to become as a future teacher. So we also provide a service for the pre-service teacher and service teacher. So you like so the first picture, training for our pre-service students, pre-service teacher, our student, which is science and mathematics education students. And we also train and have a workshop with the some educators, include with the lecturer. Like in my department, we have a RIG, Research Interest Group, called as Mathematical Thinking Research Interest Group, RIG, and we are training the student, training the lecturer with the mathematical thinkings and how they can deliver the content of mathematics with empowering the mathematical thinking and critical thinking during their teaching and learning. And we are also encourage our students and also lecturers to participate in the exhibitions. So starting from our students, and we also as a lecturer practice with join with the exhibition, also competition for mathematics and also STEM education. So as a conclusion, what I can conclude here, our aim here in integrated STEM education is actually to show how the integrated of the areas the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics are interconnected to the students, and we help the school teachers and others, and also the parents to make sure that their child and our young generation love to learn science and mathematics. And that's why our focusing are to do the activity in a practical way, and of course it will ensure that the student engage with the activity in a fun and to excite the student, and also in interactive ways, and emphasize do all the activities and initiative also emphasize with the mathematical thinking and also problem solving. And the activity we have planned and we have developed is to generate to engage the student with all the element of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So that's all the sharing session from me. This is my details. If you want to know more about what our initiative and also our products, you can email me and contact me directly. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Mr. Akmal, for an enlightening and entertaining sharing. We don't have any questions from the participants, but we do have a suggestion in the chat box from Technology Syarul Fitri bin Senin. In my opinion, and just a suggestion, the activity of the car can be made more interesting if in the future the organizer could try to put some simple sensor or apps to measure the velocity, the acceleration, and the time on the cars. This will engage them with some engineering or physics elements with mathematics in a more fun way. Thank you again, Mr. Akmal, for the sharing session.
Thank you also for the suggestion.
Yeah, thank you, Technology Syarul, for the suggestion. Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, let us welcome our last speaker for today's webinar, Dr. Roselah Osman, a senior lecturer from the School of Mathematical Sciences, College of Computing, Informatics and Media, UiTM Shah Alam. Dr. Roselah will focus on the tertiary education, specifically for the final year projects. Please welcome.
Sorry.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum and good evening to our honorable guest for tonight's webinar, Mr. Abdul from the Agency for Presidential Education Institution, Uzbekistan. And not to forget the respected lecturer and students in Uzbekistan as well as in UiTM Shah Alam and Puncak Alam. Alright, as the lecturer in charge of the final year project for bachelor's degree students in mathematics, I would like to share some insights on the significance of the final year project in STEM education. So I will start by giving a brief summary of the final year project. Okay, so the final year project is offered to the final year students, which aims to train the students to undertake a self-learning process with close supervision on an extended or new topic in mathematical sciences area. So this academic project must be accomplished by every undergraduate student to obtain the attribution to graduate. The advantage of conducting this final year project to the students, they will make decision on the tools and methods applied throughout the project, like the professionals at workplace. So in conclusion, in line with the idea of STEM education in Malaysia, the FYP will provide students with the opportunity to use and integrate the mathematical knowledge they have acquired to solve real-world problems. Alright. So meanwhile, the FYP-related STEM activities continue within the context of innovation products to foster a more creative generation. When the COVID-19 epidemic hits the country, students taking the FYP are encouraged to enter any online innovation competition. And a few of the FYPs competed in several categories, and 3 of them came away with gold and silver medals. Okay, so these are the 3. So the first innovation product, namely the 3D beta, which introduce a database for 3D fruit images. So the idea basically focuses on developing a database of 3D fruit data. And the process starts with a 3D scanning and ends with a MATLAB processing before being uploaded to the Google Sites. So here is the presentation video on the 3D beta database. I will share it to you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to everyone. My name is Muhammad Haikashah bin Muhammad Sarif, and together with Muhammad Aziz Akil and Dr. Naim Abdul Hadi, we are from the Department of Mathematics from the Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Sciences of UiTM Shah Alam. The title of our poster is 3D Beta, a database for 3D fruit images. We have developed a website that functions as a database for 3D fruit data. Nowadays, the advancement of technology has greatly improved the food industry, and there are many researches that has been carried out in order to describe the food feature, such as the volume and surface area, before proceeding to the next process. Several types of foods even has a mathematical model to represent them, and this model, it will be very useful in order to help in designing related equipments or even used during the simulation. Therefore, the 3D beta database is developed to provide the 3D data of fruits in order to be used to assist in relevant researches, and also it can help in various area of researches such as modeling, classification, engineering, and also cultural study.
The advantage of our database is it consists of major local fruits such as buah salak, mangosteen, and soursop. Therefore, the database can help to promote our local culture too. Additionally, the database also provides fruit color information which can be used in related research areas such as 3D printing and machine learning. The database development process starts with 3D food scanning, and this project uses SYZ 3D scanner as the device. The data are in OBJ format, which providing the data points with colors and vertices information. It can process in any appropriate software such as AutoCAD and MATLAB. After the pre-process, image and 3D data are uploaded into the website as a database. This project uses Google website as a platform. We delighted invite all of you to visit our database at bit.ly/3dbeta and use the provided data freely. Thank you.
Alright, the next video is the innovation product entitled Solving Non-Linear Equation by Using Graphical User Interface for Undergraduate Students. And this product won, if I'm not mistaken, Silver Award in the Invention, Innovation and Design Exposition 2020, ITEX 2022. So before we share the video presentation, I would like to invite Sharifah Noor, the owner of the innovation product and the moderator for tonight's webinar, to explain a little bit about your product. The floor is yours, Noor.
Alright, thank you, Doctor. Hello again, I'm Sharifah Noor. So this project is my final year project along with my partner, Nurul bin Abdul, and is supervised by Dr. Muhammad Agus Salim bin Nasir from UiTM. The title of the project is Solving Nonlinear Equations by Using Graphical User Interface for undergraduate students. Initially, the idea of the project was brought up by our supervisor, and the idea was to have a system or application where students can use it in the learning process. So we came up with the idea to develop a graphical user interface for easy navigation, specifically for solving nonlinear equations. Since I took the numerical analysis subject in the previous semester, I agreed that whenever I do some practice questions, it's hard to check whether my answers were right or wrong because there are a limited number of softwares that cater this kind of problems. So we believe that this project could bring benefits to students in easing their learning journey. Last year, using this project, we entered the IDEX competition, which is an annual innovation competition by UiTM, and we managed to receive a silver award for that. This shows that this project has the potential to be commercialized and be distributed to the students. There are still a lot of improvements that can be made from the project since it's still at the early stage, and I hope that in the future, it will be able to achieve the objectives that we set when we started the project. That's it from me. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Noha. So here is the video presentation.
Assalamualaikum. We are from Bachelor of Science Mathematics from College of Computing, Informatics and Media UiTM Shah Alam. We are going to introduce to our project entitled Solving Nonlinear Equations by using Graphical User Interface for Undergraduate Student. First of all, we are from Group Meet and I'm one of the member. My name is Nurul Abdul and my partner Sharifah Noha Zahira Said Abdul Nasir. For the head of this project is Dr. Muhammad Agus Salim Nasir.
I will now start by stating our problem statements. Solving nonlinear equations can be challenging since the process is repetitive and needs a tedious work. Nonlinear equations can be solved using a few numerical methods, for example, bisection method, secant method, graphical method, and Newton's method. These methods consist of iterative procedure and can be tricky since the process needs to be repeated many times and a long calculation is needed. However, there is a limited number of softwares or applications that can be used to solve these equations and for students to check whether their answers are right or wrong. The objectives of this innovation are first to develop a system that can find the root of nonlinear equations based on the input key in by the user. Second is to display the approximate root in a graph, and third is to help students to check for their answers easily. This innovation is basically a graphical user interface GUI and will be developed through MATLAB with the usage of App Designer, which is embedded in the MATLAB and will involve some coding skills. In this GUI, the user will be able to input their nonlinear equations and choose their preferred method to solve the equation. The end product is hoped to be able to achieve the objectives and address the same problems.
This is the flowchart on how the system will be functioned, where firstly, the user need to insert the function and interval as the input, and after that, they need to choose either one from 4 numerical methods provided, which are graphical, bisection, Newton's, or secant method. And then the system will calculate and produce the approximate root as the output.
I will now show the simulation of our innovation. Before that, I am going to show the manual calculation. Let's say we have this question with the function exponent to the power of x plus x minus 2. We want to know the existence of the root in the interval 0 to 1. After we calculate it manually using the right iteration, the estimated root correct to 3 decimal places is 0.443. Now I am going to show you how we get the answer using our product.
The significance of this project is, with the existence of this simulator, will give more benefit to the student that learn mathematics subject. This is because with it, they can check on the answer to the question anytime they want with just only a few steps. Moreover, with the graph provided, will give more understanding for the topic that they learn with the weight of illustration. In conclusion, in this era of globalization, the usage of technology has been expanded in many sectors, including education sector. So, if the simulator can be improved by including another topics in mathematics subject, it can give benefit not only to students but also to the lecturers.
Alright, so the third innovation product is the iPalm print that won Silver Award in the Penang International Invention, Innovation and Design in 2021. So the primary goal of this product is to develop a graphical user interface, GUI in MATLAB, that can identify individuals based on their palm prints. So instead of conducting computational manually, the GUI is used to assist in personal identification. So I will share you the video presentation.
Hello everyone! Here are the team members. There are 5 of us. The first one, Roselah Harun. The second one, Dr. Muhammad Abu Salim Nasir. The third one, Ismail Ismail. The fourth one, Maisarah Izyani Muhammad Ashari. And the last one, Zubaidah Sadiki. We are from Faculty of Science, Computer and Mathematics, University Technology Mara, Cawangan, Selangor, Malaysia. Here we are going to present iPalm print. But before that, let's know the basic. Biometric is a technology that being used to identify an individual based on one or more physical or behavioral traits. It has been used widely in the network society, usually for security purposes. There are many features in the biometric identification, such as speech recognition, fingerprint, face recognition, retina, iris, and palm print. For this product, obviously we are focusing on the palm print. Palm print actually have unique characteristics that can be easily processed. More than 30% of evidence obtained during a crime scene investigation are in the form of palm print type of evidence. Now, let us dive into the process of palm print investigation. Stage 1 is data acquisition, where the investigator will find the palm print evidence in the crime scene. The second stage is image pre-processing. Under this stage, the forensic department will do their job. The first step is image thresholding, where the original image of the hand will be transformed into binary hand image. The second step is boundary tracking, where the histogram of grayscale palm print image is being analyzed to determine the threshold value. Then the contour of hand image can be traced. Next is the extraction of palm print region of interest, ROI. The image of captured palm print will be processed to extract the ROI. The palm print features for palm print characteristics will be extracted within this ROI. After that, the image will undergo enhancement process to increase the number of palm print features. First one is point extraction, where points on creases of each palm print are being extracted from the palm print image that have been processed. Then, the palm print characteristics to be used for the identification will be determined. Lastly, they have to make calculation manually to find the equation for each characteristics. They will have to work with all the coding, either using Maple or MATLAB, which are time consuming. After all the process have been done, the identification will be made through the recorded database. Now, let's see the process of investigation with the assistance of iPalm print. The steps are just the same until the step of features extraction. The points are extracted and the thumbprint characteristics to be used are determined. But if the thumbprint characteristics to be used are equation of creases and angle between creases, then iPumpprint will be very helpful. So here is the main interface of iPumpprint. There are three options where the user can choose either to find only the equation of creases or only to find only the angle between creases or to find both. If the user intends to use both characteristics, then the last option is the most efficient one. The user only have to key in the points that have been extracted for each creases. Then they can click on the button equation C1, equation C2 and equation C3 to find the equation of each creases, and click on the button angle between C2 and C3 to find the angle between creases. Then they can choose the image of thumbprint to plot graph for creases and tangent line. What are the specialty of our product? iPumpprint is the first UI for thumbprint individual identification system in Malaysia. It also can be installed in any devices. What are the use of iPumpprint in this case? It assists investigators in making calculation on thumbprint characteristics for individual identification. With iPumpprint, the result which represent each characteristics of an individual can be obtained easier, since the calculation have been made automated. Hence, the investigator do not have to involve with the back-end coding. The commercialization of our product is that iPumpprint can assist part of the investigations that are related to the personal identification system using thumbprint characteristics. It is also applicable for system of identification by the National Security Council as well as forensic committee. Other than that, iPumpprint is a user-friendly GUI because the features are easy to be understood. Lastly, iPumpprint can be upgraded based on user requirement, such as using other thumbprint characteristics. Here we are presenting iPumpprint.
Gifis, College Yan Kisaladan.
Next, our project support. So that's all from us. Thank you.
All right. So the participation, next we have the participation of lecturers in the innovation competitions related to their different fields of study. They have been encouraged as a way of integrating STEM into the teaching and learning process. So during the COVID-19 epidemics, there were a number of innovation competitions held by universities and a number of lecturers who were awarded for their participation in this competition. So the following are the 3 award-winning educational websites created by our lecturer. The first is on linear algebra 2. I will show to you the website. Hold on. Alright. Okay, you can scan the QR code to get direct access to the website here. So I will go into the website. Okay. So this so-called educational hub provides users with a variety of resources such as notes. You can have your notes here, teaching material, recording of lecturers giving lectures on topics related to the subject matter. So we have the video lecture here. We have Dr. Nomi and Dr. Suhaila. And interactive games. You can go to the assessment button. You have the student assessment button and the interactive game. We have games on matrices, a system of linear equation, and so on and so forth. And also the assessment. So you can go to the, you can scan the QR code to get the direct access to the website. Okay, so next we have multi-variable calculus. Okay, this is this product won a silver award. So this so-called educational hub, I will share to you the website. Okay, so you can also scan this QR code to get direct access to the website. Okay, so I will go to the website. Okay, so this is the website. So this so-called educational hub differs from other instructional website in that it begins with an assessment of the user's learning style. So you can start your assessment. Okay. You go to your learning style. Okay. So you can take the free quiz. Okay. Click on that button and you can know your learning style. Is it auditory, visual, and so on and so forth. And also it also offers several unique features such as 3D graphing. So we go back to our home button. Right. So we have 3D graphing button, so you can plot the following surface using GeoGebra. You can try it out. Okay, so you can put in your equation, copy and paste. Control. Okay, so you can get your plane. Okay, you can try out with the rest of the equations. And also we have many more. We have tutorials and notes, and also assessment and interactive activities, which are the games. Okay, with that I will leave to you to browse on your own. All right. So go back to. Okay, next we have another innovation product coming from our lecturers. Also won a gold award. Okay. So this is Calculus 2, where some students find Calculus 2 to be difficult. So this so-called Education Hub website helps to ease the stress of the subject by offering games that are related to Calculus 2. We will go into the website later. So besides that, the website also offers several unique features such as lab session and many more. Okay. Alright, this is the QR code to get direct access to the website. Okay, so I'm going to share to you the website. So this is the website, Calculus 2 again. Okay, so these are the course overview, course learning outcome, and these are the lecturers involved in this product. Okay, we have also teaching material, the button for teaching material. You have chapter 1, okay, related to Calculus 2, chapter 2, and so on. And we have a lab session also. You go into the lab session button and you can try out for chapter 1. This is the lab using Maple, interactive games. You can try out the interactive games, tutorial, and assessment. Okay. Okay, next. Okay. Right. Next, our FYP students are also encouraged to go to conferences where they can meet and talk with experts in their field of studies. So this is another way to get students involved in society. So students are also encouraged to share the results of their research in certain Scopus journal. Okay. So even though they are still getting their degrees, some students are able to write high quality research articles and win awards for best presenter and best paper at conferences they go to. So these are the students that attend the conferences and won the best paper and best presenter. Alright. So lastly, our department has also developed an online platform called Mathematics Letter for the FYP students to publish their work. So I will share to you the website. You can also scan the QR code to get direct access to the website. Okay, so this is the website on Mathematics Letters. Okay, at the moment, there are 2 volumes of Mathematics Letters and almost all of the papers in the volumes are from the FYP work. So this is from volume 1, coming from the FYP work. The students convert their FYP work into research paper and submit it to our newsletter here. Okay. So you can also submit your manuscript, okay, and follow the guideline and use the Mathematics Letter template provided in our website. So you can also contact our chief editor, Dr. Abdul, and our editorial board, okay, consists of mathematics lecturer, and one of the well-known lecturers is Prof. Dr. Isamuddin Rakimov from Uzbekistan. Okay, so the rest, you can have a look on your own. Okay. Alright. So for your information, our Mathematics Letters is indexed by the Google Scholar. So to conclude, student-centered approach to learning and solving real-world problems is at the foundation of STEM education. So at UiTM, we try to integrate all mathematical knowledge from the 1st through 5th semesters into the final year project. So the cultural values and execution practices of the final year project are as I have presented them all to you tonight. So hopefully everyone will benefit from my presentation. With that, I thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Roselah, for the enjoyable talk. We have one question in the chat box from Technology Shahrul Fitri bin Senin. The question is, what are the limitations of MathMate?
Go ahead, Nurul.
As for the limitations of the project, we couldn't cater logarithm problems yet, and we don't know the exact value, so we cannot calculate the error. And yes, we still need the user to input the interval for the result to come up. I hope that answers your question.
All right, thank you, Nurul.
All right. Thank you again, Dr. Roselah. Looks like we still have some time to spare, so I'm going to read some other questions. This question is for teacher Maisarah. When designing the question for activity for STEM, is there a hard or easy level of required thinking skill? Teacher Maisarah, are you there?
Yes. Again, the question again?
The question is, when designing the question for activity for STEM, is there a hard or easy level of required thinking skill?
Okay, of course. So actually, we do have a different level. So we can start from, let's say, if you use an inquiry approach, okay, we can start from like structured, like we give them guide, and we can move to the next level, and at the end we can do an open inquiry activity. So we do not give them any guidance, so they explore their own using their own creativity. For example, the pie just now, I asked them to draw the circle, right? 5 different circle, and then I asked them to put in the table. So for the high level students, maybe we do not provide what's in the table at the end, the relationship. They need to find themselves. The circumference divided by the diameter. But for the lower students, maybe we can guide them. We ask them, okay, you need to calculate the diameter, you need to calculate the circumference, and also, of course, there will be a different level. And as a teacher, we can, during the activity, we can ask them the question according to their ability. Thank you for the question.
All right. Thank you, Teacher Maisarah, for answering the question. Perhaps Mr. Akmal has anything to add? Mr. Akmal, are you there? Mr. Akmal? Okay, if he's not here, we can proceed. All right. Once again, thanks to all speakers. The link or QR code of the feedback on today's event is available in the WebEx chat panel and YouTube comment section. We would appreciate it if you can fill out the form and provide your feedback for our future improvement. We have come to the end of this webinar now. On the behalf of the College of Computing, Informatics and Media, UiTM, once again, I want to thank our honorable speakers, Madam Mysara, Mr. Akmal, and Dr. Roselah, for such interesting talks. It was a pleasure to have you guys with us today. To all participants, thank you for your attention. We hope you have learned something new and enjoyed today's session. Before we end, I would like to inform you that next week, 23rd February 2023, will be the last session for this webinar series. Therefore, the closing ceremony will be held together with a talk from a representative of Bersama, our co-organizer. I am looking forward to seeing everyone next week. Goodbye and have a nice day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much to all the speakers. Thank you, Mr. Abror. I can see you.
Thank you very much.
Staying throughout the
Hello.
session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And
Thank you so much. Thank you for all the honorable teachers, professors. It was very interesting. I hope our students also liked the webinar. And myself, I also attended to the seminar. I put the 3.14 about the P number and other things. It was very interesting, even for me.
We are about to organize the Pi Day.
Okay.
Okay, we'll talk about it later with you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Teacher Maisarah. Thank you so much, Akmal, and also Dr. Roselah for tonight. On the behalf of the committees, kami sangat berbesar hatilah kerana pihak speakers willingly to share experience and knowledge in tonight's session. Okay, so insyaAllah jemput untuk hadir to the closing ceremony next week. We're going to have a closing ceremony next week, Mr. Abror. We're going to have one more session webinar from the co-organizer, the co-organizer Bersama, and also the closing ceremony. I will brief you about it maybe tomorrow.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, all right. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Terima kasih semua. Assalamualaikum.